Welcome to the show, everyone. We're diving into a gothic romance that's got everyone talking.
Amelia.
Oh, I've heard good things.
Yeah, it's gotten some buzz for sure. We've got excerpts from the book, everything from the first few pages to a little sneak peek at the ending. We want to see if Amelia deserves a spot on your to-be-read list.
Love it. And you know our listeners, they eat up a good atmospheric novel.
Yeah.
So we'll be paying attention to all the little details, how the author really draws you into that world.
Exactly. So the story unfolds in Ravenwood. That's a town that honestly sounds like it was made for a gothic romance.
Oh.
Yeah, I think cobblestone streets, whispers carried on the wind, and obviously a mysterious castle up on a hill overlooking it all.
You know, that sense of place is so vital in gothic romance. It really sets the scene.
It's like its own character almost.
Exactly. It adds this layer of, I don't know, suspense maybe.
Totally. Speaking of suspense, the castle's owner, Lucian, is shrouded in it. We get these descriptions of him as captivating and alluring.
Ooh, I like the sound of that already. Right. But there's this hint of something darker beneath the surface.
Oh, interesting. It's giving that classic Byronic hero, isn't it?
Yes.
Brooding, potentially dangerous, definitely irresistible, though.
Totally.
It plays on that fascination we all have, that pull towards someone who might be a little dangerous.
It's like, you should stay away, but you can't help but be drawn in. And then there's Amelia, our protagonist. She gets to Ravenwood, and she's instantly intrigued by the town. And by Lucian, of course.
Of course. Has she not been warned?
You'd think so, right? Everyone's telling her to steer clear of him.
Oh, I'm already sensing a pattern.
Yeah, but instead of being cautious, she's even more drawn to the mystery of it all. Especially Lucian.
I can already tell I'm going to love her.
You and me both. She's definitely not afraid of a little risk. And speaking of risk, their relationship starts with these stolen glances, these chance encounters that just seem a little too perfect to be accidental.
The author's setting the scene.
Exactly. Then in Chapter 3, Forbidden Attraction, Amelia's wandering around the castle grounds, already a bold move, and she stumbles upon Lucian.
Ooh, a classic.
Right. And the author sets it up so perfectly. Crumbling archways, overgrown roses.
It's like the setting is mirroring their feelings.
100%. And their connection is instant. Lucian turns on the charm.
So I is captivating then?
Oh, completely. Amelia's totally smitten. They even go for a walk as the sun sets. Lucian shares all these stories about Ravenwood's past.
Sounds romantic.
Right. But there's this undercurrent of something darker, something he's not saying.
Holding back, keeping secrets, as they do.
Exactly. And it just makes you want to know more.
Oh, for sure.
Like, what is Lucian hiding? Well, we get a big clue in Chapter 4, Secrets Unveiled. Amelia stumbles upon a hidden chamber in the castle.
A secret chamber? You're kidding.
Nope. It's described as a room frozen in time. Dusty books, forgotten relics.
Ooh, creepy.
Right.
What does she find in there?
Among all the relics, she finds a journal. And this journal hints at Lucian's true nature.
I've got a feeling this is where things get really interesting.
Oh, you have no idea. The journal, it reveals that Lucian is a vampire.
A vampire. Wow. Okay, that changes things.
Right. You'd think Amelia would run for the hills. But remember, she was already drawn to his dangerous aura.
That's true. That's true.
And now, knowing he's a creature of the night, it adds a whole other level of complexity to their connection.
Absolutely. It gets right to the heart of what makes gothic romance so compelling. That push and pull between fear and attraction.
Exactly. And the question of whether love can really conquer anything, even something as powerful as the supernatural.
And let's not forget about the setting. It all plays out against this backdrop of darkness and decay.
Right. And it all comes to a head at a grand ball that Lucian throws at the castle.
Wait, a ball?
A ball.
And he's a vampire? Is he trying to keep a low profile, or?
Right. It's a bit of a power move for sure.
That's one way to put it.
But it also works perfectly for the story.
Oh, absolutely.
Think about it. Opulence, music, dancing.
You're right. You're right.
It creates this heightened atmosphere where anything feels possible.
Even for a vampire who's fallen for a mortal woman.
Exactly.
It's almost like he's letting his guard down, just for a little while.
Right. But then, of course, the truth comes out. And it throws their whole romance into chaos.
So how does Lucian try to explain all this to Amelia?
I mean, how do you even begin to explain that you're a vampire?
Exactly. And Lucian's not the type to bare his soul easily.
True, true. He spent centuries guarding his secret, pushing people away.
It's like this classic struggle,
Yeah.
between wanting that connection with someone but being terrified of the consequences.
And hurting them in the process?
Exactly. And Amelia, she's going through it too.
Imagine finding out something like that about someone you're falling for.
It's huge. And in Chapter 7, The Forbidden Romance, we really get to see what's going on in Amelia's head.
What's she thinking?
All of it. Fear, fascination. And she can't deny it. She's still drawn to him.
It makes you think, about whether you can truly love someone, knowing they have this darkness inside them.
And not just any darkness, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about something society views as monstrous.
Right.
It adds a whole other layer to that question of acceptance.
Definitely. And speaking of things that are a little monstrous, their love story isn't the only thing that's in danger here.
Oh, right. There was that other layer of conflict brewing.
Exactly.
What was it? A coven.
Yeah. In Chapter 8, A Pact with Darkness, we find out there's this powerful vampire coven. And they've had their eye on Lucian.
Makes sense, keeping tabs on their own kind.
Right. But they are not happy about his relationship with Amelia.
Why's that?
They see her as a threat, a violation of their laws, which just makes everything even more intense.
Oh, for sure. Talk about forbidden love.
Right. And of course, Lucian's not just going to sit back and let them hurt Amelia.
What does he do?
He ends up making this deal with the coven.
To protect her.
To protect her. But you get the feeling it's going to come at a price.
Oh, there's always a price in these deals. Especially in Gothic romances.
So true. And as if the coven wasn't enough.
There's more.
In Chapter 9, Betrayal and Redemption, we meet Marcus.
Who's Marcus?
He's another vampire. Someone Lucian used to be close to. But Marcus, he's jealous.
Jealous of what?
Of Lucian's power. And probably a little jealous of Amelia, too.
Yeah.
So he ends up betraying Lucian.
Oh, wow.
So now, not only does Lucian have the coven to deal with, but he's got this personal betrayal to handle, too.
And poor Amelia's caught in the middle of it all. It's all just so intense. Do they ever catch a break?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
What chance do they have? A covenantee, a vengeful vampire.
It seems pretty hopeless.
But that's kind of what I love about Gothic romance. It pushes the characters to their limits, and it makes you, as a reader, really confront those big questions.
Well, like what?
Like, can love really conquer all?
Especially when the odds are stacked against you.
Exactly. But there's also this element of hope in these stories.
Oh, absolutely.
Even in the darkest moments.
And speaking of hope, remember those townspeople? The ones who warned Amelia about Lucian?
Oh, right. They're back.
They come back in a big way.
How so?
They rally around Amelia and Lucian. They realize this fight is about more than just one couple. It's about protecting their town.
From the supernatural forces at play.
Exactly.
Wow, so Amelia's gone from being the outsider to bringing the whole community together.
It's pretty amazing.
Is it enough, though?
That's the big question going into Chapter 10, The Battle Begins. Will love be enough to win the fight?
You've got to have some hope, right? It's a romance after all.
True.
But it sounds like it's not going to be easy.
Definitely not.
And even if they win the battle, can they really escape the darkness completely?
That's a good question. And it's something the author explores really well.
Oh, tell me more.
In a Gothic romance, there's always this sense that the darkness is never truly gone.
It's always lurking.
Exactly. So even if love wins out, there's this lingering unease.
That's the essence of Gothic romance right there. That feeling that darkness is always waiting in the wings.
So do Amelia and Lucian, do they manage to find some peace after all that?
Well, that's where Amelia takes a really interesting turn. It would have been easy to just dive into another big battle, another fight for survival.
Right, keep those stakes high?
Exactly. But instead, the author goes in a different direction. It's about rebuilding, finding strength in a quieter way.
What do you mean?
Well, Chapter 12 is called Embracing the Future, and it shows Amelia and Lucian putting their lives back together.
After the battle?
Yeah, they're dealing with their wounds, literal and emotional ones, and reaffirming their commitment to each other. It's about choosing hope, even with all the uncertainty.
So the Gothic setting, which usually screams doom and gloom, it becomes something else entirely.
Right. It's almost like they're taking back the narrative.
Transforming that darkness into something positive.
Exactly. They even start restoring the castle.
Oh, wow, I see it. Becomes this symbol of their resilience.
Yeah.
Of their love.
And then we jump ahead a few years. Chapter 13, Forever Bound. It shows us how their relationship has evolved.
So are they happy?
It's complicated. They're older, wiser, their bond is even stronger. But there's still this undercurrent of melancholy.
Like, they can't completely outrun the shadows of the past.
Exactly.
So it's not a fairy tale ending.
Not exactly, but there's beauty in that, don't you think?
I see what you mean.
It feels real, you know?
Yeah.
They found a way to coexist with the darkness, to find joy even amidst all that uncertainty.
Which brings us to the final chapter, A New Dawn. Does it offer any sense of closure?
It does, but in a way that stays true to the Gothic genre.
How so?
Well, there's this feeling of cyclical time.
Like history repeating itself.
Exactly. There are rumors of unrest, whispers of a new threat.
Sounds ominous.
It is, but there's also this sense of acceptance from Amelia and Lucian.
Like they know darkness is a part of life.
And they're ready to face it together.
And then there's the epilogue.
Yeah.
It jumps ahead even further, right?
Years later, yeah. And it shows Amelia and Lucian surrounded by loved ones. Their love has endured.
It's like their story proves that love can not only fight darkness, but also transform it.
Create something powerful and beautiful from it.
It's making me want to pick up Amelia right now.
You absolutely should. It's a real page-turner, with so much to say about love, loss, and the power of hope.
That's what we love to hear. A Gothic romance with heart. This deep dive has been a wild ride.
I've loved getting lost in the world of Amelia.
And we hope you have too, listeners. If you're looking for your next atmospheric read with a bit of bite, this one's for you.
Don't miss it.
And with that, we'll say goodbye for now. Happy reading, everyone.